Alright, so a film that I'm working on right now is dealing with redlining and racial covenants. And I'm going to do a video on redlining and racial covenants. So just check with me later on and I'll go into detail about that later on. But throughout the film, I'll emphasize the impact on the black community from those mechanisms, and primarily how dilapidated our communities have become from these mechanisms, how deprived our communities are from these mechanisms, how distressed our communities are from these mechanisms. Not only to just stress upon the fact that those mechanisms are where those 3Ds of sorts derive from, but to also say that by reinvesting, revitalizing, and rebuilding those same communities that were pinpointed by racial covenants and redlining, that we can rebuild and strengthen our communities, and by rebuilding and strengthening our communities, we can then rebuild America as a whole, starting small with one and going big to all. So that's the idea of the film. And so I was watching Breakfast Club, it was a video, and Charlemagne was talking to Angela Yee about a video that Obama's doing with a company on Snapchat. And so I'm watching that video, and what they're talking about directly relates to what I'm talking about in terms of reinvesting into the community. And they're talking, I mean, I don't play the video, but a little bit before, they're just talking about defunding the police and how that subject or that context gets spewed, and how in actuality it's about taking the funds and the resources that are being provided to police departments in excess and taking those excess funds, the additional funds, and put that into deprived communities. That part right there correlates directly with the research I'm doing right now. So I felt like it was perfect. I felt like it was dope. But yeah, so we're gonna check this out. For me, it was dope getting that perspective of defunding the police, but in regards to taking those excess funding and the excess resources and putting those into communities that are deprived of resources and funding, so that we can just move forward and progress within society. And I do believe in that respect, officers and police departments should have resourcing to the degree in which they need it. But once that line is crossed, then I believe that those excess funds, being that those are taxpayer dollars, should be going to the communities that have been strategically dilapidated and strategically deprived of resources. So that's my thoughts on it. Like I said, I'm still working on my film. That's all this research is going into. Let me know your thoughts on defunding the police. Like, when you think about it from the aspect of taking excess funds that are being funded into the police and taking those funds and putting it into communities that are lacking funds. Like, what do you think about when you think about it from that regard? But yeah, just leave a comment in the video. I can't wait to see what y'all got to say. But yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one though. Alright, that's a bet.